Evening to all of you. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
How old are you?
Good evening.
Hi, Jairus. Weren't you present when I took the attendance?
Miss?
Yeah? Were you there when I took the attendance?
Yes, miss.
Okay, okay. All right. So, children, there comes a long gap between our classes. After Mondays and Tuesdays, we have a long break. And then again, we meet on another Monday and Tuesday. So, do you remember what did we learn in the last class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. What was that?
Yes, ma'am. And we was discussing the outer meaning of other three stanzas of the Road Not Taken.
Yes. Did we complete the poem?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we finished the poem, The Road Not Taken, one of the famous poems written by Robert Frost. And did you go through the poem? Did you read the lines? Yes. How many times? One time? Two times? Two. Not more than that. My goodness. All right. Any doubts? Do you have any doubts regarding the poem? The Road Not Taken. What is the theme of the poem?
Making choices.
Decision making. Don't say that making choice. I told you, I clearly explained to you what is the difference between choice and a decision. Choice means you have options, and from that, you are coming to a conclusion. That conclusion is what we call as decision. Okay, so the theme of the poem is decision making. And which was the road chosen by the poet or the traveler?
Second one.
Yes, the second road was chosen by him. Why? What is the reason why he chose that road?
Because he thought that was travel comparing the two roads.
Yes, when he compared both the roads, he found that the second road was grassy and not many people have traveled through it. So he chose that. He thought that it was the best way. Okay. And towards the end of the poem, what do we find, or what conclusion do we come into? Is he happy because of the decision that he has made, or does he regret about his decision? Both, right? Both. So that is the peculiarity of the poem. The ending of the poem is vague. It is open, vague for interpretation. We readers can assume what the poet feels. All right? Okay. So I hope the poem is clear to you. And today we will be discussing the poetic devices in the poem. And before that, quickly look at your text and find out what are the rhyming words that you find. Quickly. Rhyming words, that is something that you have learned in your smaller classes. You know how to find out the rhyming words. Quickly find out the rhyming words in the poem. Just mark it in a textbook. Are you able to find out any rhyming words there? Unmute and respond, children. Yes, you say. Are you able to find out any rhyming words? That's my question.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay, all right. Shall we discuss the rhyming words? In the first stanza. We find that in each stanza, there are 5 lines. So which are the words that rhyme with each other? I'm going to write the end words there in the first stanza. Would, both, then stood, good, pardon, and undergrowth.
Ma'am, I
These are
cannot
the
see the
ends.
whiteboard.
You can't see the whiteboard?
No, ma'am, because
No one can see it?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
I'll share it once again. Just see whether you can see the screen. Is it okay now?
No.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay. So in the first answer, these are the end words that comes at the end of each line. Would, both, stood, could, undergrowth. Okay, now tell me which are the words that rhyme with each other.
Wood and stood.
Wood and stood.
Would and
Stood.
stood. Okay, would and stood. Anything else that comes along with the same? It should,
Both and
yes,
growth.
could, very good. Okay, it should sound the same. Okay, would, stood, could. Do not look for the spelling, but you look for the sound. Would, stood, could. And what about the other two?
Both and growth.
What about the other two?
Growth.
Both and growth.
Growth.
All right. So now I'm going to teach you how to mark the rhyme scheme. Does anyone know how to mark the rhyme scheme? Any idea? Okay. So the first one, we will mark it as A, would. Does the word would match with both? Please unmute and respond, children. Otherwise, we'll be wasting the time. Does that word would match with both? No. So we will mark it as B. We will mark it as B. Okay. Would, we will mark it as A, and both is marked as B. Then what about would and stood? Does it match with each other?
Yes.
Yes. So again, we are going to mark it as A. And what about stood and could? Does it match with each other?
Yes.
Yes. What about could and growth? Does it match?
No.
No. What about both and growth? Does it match?
Yes.
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 So you will mark it as B. So in the first answer, the rhyme scheme is A, B, A, A, B. Okay. In the first answer, we will find the rhyme scheme as A, B, A, A, B. Similarly, you just try and see with the second stanza. Which are the words, the end words that comes at second stanza?
Fair. Fair.
One by one. Yes, fair. Then
Claim.
claim. Then
Where.
where,
There.
there,
Same.
same. Okay, thank you, Nigla. Good. Okay, well, we have one more word. Same. Now tell me which are the words that matches with each other.
Fair and where.
There.
Yes.
Fair.
Fair
Where.
and,
There.
yeah, fair, where, there.
There.
And the other set?
Claim and
Claim. Same.
Same and claim.
Claim and same. Okay, so fair, we will mark it as A. What about fair and claim? Does it match?
No.
No. So we will mark it, the second one as B. What about fair and where? Is it the same? Yes. So again marking it as A. Then where and there, does it match?
Yes.
Yes. There and same, does it match?
No.
No. So again, look at the second stanza. We have the rhyme scheme A, B, A, A, B. What was the rhyme scheme for the first stanza?
A, B, A, A, B.
A, B, A, A, B. For the second stanza also, A, B, A, A, B. So now roughly just have a quick look at the third stanza and fourth stanza. Now it's your turn to do it. Come on, do it fast and find out the rhyme scheme for the third stanza and the fourth stanza. I'll give you 1 minute time. Do it fast.
It's the same, right?
Same, right? You're asking me. Are you doubtful?
And same scheme.
Yes? Did you all find it the same?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you mark it as A, B like that?
Yes.
So for the third stanza, what is the rhyme scheme?
A, B.
A, B,
A,
A,
B, A, A, B. And what about the final stanza? Final stanza, what is the rhyme scheme? A, B, A, A, B. So, yeah, so the entire poem has got the rhyme scheme as A, B, A, A, B. Understood? So when such a question comes for exam, you have to write, what is the rhyme scheme of the poem? The road note taken. You have to write A, B, A, A, B. When you get the options, the option will be quite confusing. So you have to be thorough with the answer. Okay, A, B, A, A, B. That is going to be the rhyme scheme of the poem. the road not taken. Now we are moving on to the poetic device. Of course, rhyme scheme also comes under poetic device, but just because you're quite familiar with how to find out the rhyming words, I thought I'll discuss it first itself. Now, two roads. I explained the meaning of that phrase, two roads. Two roads means two path or two ways. But can you think it in the inner meaning? What could be the inner meaning of that word, two roads?
And two
Choice.
Two choices.
Very good, very good. Well said, two choices. Okay, so the two roads, that phrase has got an inner meaning. Just note it down in the text. Two roads refer to the two choices in life. Okay, that's the inner meaning. The external meaning or the literal meaning is two ways or two paths. But the inner meaning suggests for the phrase two roads is two choices. And moving on to the next phrase, yellow wood. When I explained to you the poem, the phrase yellow wood, I told that yellow represents the autumn season and wood refers to the forest. But can you think of something else? Autumn is a season when trees do shed their leaves. So can you think it in the aspect of a human being's life? What could the phrase yellow wood suggest?
And there is no way.
No way? No way in the sense?
Only two.
Trees do shed their leaves during the
Ma'am.
autumn season.
Ma'am.
Yes, yes.
That man's decision can either make him successful or can make
All right, agreed. Of course, decision making plays an important role in one's life. Either you will be success or you will regret about the wrong decision that you have made in life. But yellow wood, yellow color, yellow literal meaning is autumn season and wood refers to the forest. So the traveler or the poet is in the midst of the forest and he has come to a junction where he finds two roads separated in front of him. So I'm asking you for the inner meaning. What could it represent when we consider a human being's life? Yellow wood, yellow color.
Ma'am,
Yes, Nivedya.
that traveler is going through a hard time.
Okay, one is going through hard time. All right. What? See, when we learn the poem, Shakespeare's poem, All the World's Stage, I'm the only one who taught it. All the World's Stage. Do you remember that poem?
Yes.
Remember that poem? How many stages are there in man's life?
7.
There are seven
Seven.
stages. There are 7 stages. And we know stages one by one. Infancy, boyhood, lover, then justice. It goes on. So just try to connect it.
Ma'am, does it mean old people?
Yes, exactly. Very good, Lakshmi. Lakshmi Nandakumar said it. Yellow wood, yellow color represent the latter stage of one's life. Latter stage. Latter stage means old age of one's life. Okay. That is the inner meaning of that phrase. Yellow wood. Yellow refers to the latter stage of one's life. Then one more word is there, undergrowth. Undergrowth. I gave you the little meaning of undergrowth. Undergrowth means small. What is the meaning?
small shrub that grows on the ground.
Small shrubs or small plants that grow on the ground. That is the little meaning of undergrowth. So we find that the traveler stood at the junction and he looked at both the roads as far as his eyes could reach to where it bent in the undergrowth, to where it leads in the undergrowth. So what is the inner meaning of undergrowth?
Successful life.
Successful life. If we stand at some point and if we look at our future, will we be able to find that whether the life will be successful or not? Undergrowth here suggests the unknown world. Unknown world. Okay. The poet was not sure which way or which road he has to choose because he tried to look at both the roads as long as his eyes could reach, but he was not sure because that world was completely unknown for him. Undergrowth means the inner meaning is unknown world. Okay. Now let me share the screen with you. regarding the poetic devices. We have number of poetic devices in literature. Okay. And what are poetic devices? Poems use imaginative language to express a person's feelings and ideas. There are many different devices and techniques of poetry that can be used. So poetic device is mainly used to enhance the quality of a poem. At the same time, the poet will be able to express his own feelings or emotions. Okay, so that is the purpose served by poetic device. In another aspect, we do also refer it as literary devices. Poetic device or literary device. Okay. We would also call as poetic devices or literary devices. So here I have listed out a few literary devices: onomatopoeia, simile, personification, rhyme, metaphor, pattern, alliteration, mood, repetition, and hyperbole. These are few. Okay, there are many poetic devices. And in this poem, we will come across a lot more. Okay, so now children, let me ask you, I told two roads, literal meaning is two ways or two paths. But inner meaning I gave you, that is two choices in life. So which is the poetic device out of this? Can anyone tell me? Which is the poetic device out of this? Two roads suggest two choices in one's life.
Metaphor.
Metaphor, very good. Metaphor. Metaphor. Okay, so for exam, if such a question comes, you have to write, what is the poetic device used for the phrase two roads in the poem? The poetic device is metaphor. Okay, then let me move to the next slide. Okay. No, this is just an explanation about poetic device. Yeah, you can note down some of the poetic devices: alliteration, assonance, imagery, metaphor, personification, and simile. And the ones which I have marked, just a minute. Yeah, the ones which I have marked with green ink, that is what you have to take into consideration: alliteration, metaphor, personification, and simile. And rhyme also, of course. We have already discussed the rhyme and the rhyme scheme in the poem. Okay, that is already done. Now we have to find out alliteration, metaphor, personification, and simile. But you would also find, this is for extra information, you would also find poetic devices like anaphora, antithesis, anaphora, antithesis, and imagery in the poem. Okay. These are the other three poetic devices that we find: anaphora, antithesis, imagery. But we mainly have to concentrate on alliteration, metaphor, personification, and simile. So let's go into the other one in detail. What is a metaphor? Just make a note of it. What is a metaphor? So I have already given an example from the poem. What is a metaphor? Two roads represent two choices in life. Okay, so the literal meaning is different, and the inner meaning is different. So two roads stands for two choices in one's life. So what is a metaphor? A metaphor states that one thing is something else. Here in the poem, two roads stands for two choices in life. So roads represent something else. It is representing the choices in one's life. Okay, so metaphor states that one thing is something else. It is a comparison, but it does not use like or as to make the comparison. So metaphor is also a kind of comparing one thing with the other, but we will not use like or as. Just a minute. We will not use like or as to make the comparison. Look at examples. Her hair is silk. Her hair is silk. So here in this example, we are comparing the hair to that of a silk, which means it is very soft and smooth. So hair is silk. So hair is compared to that of silk. but we are not using like or as. Then you are my sunshine. You are my sunshine. The person is compared to that of sunshine. That means when I look at you, I feel so happy. I feel so energetic. You are my sunshine. The person is compared to sunshine. But we are not using like or as. Is it clear, children? Did you understand what is a metaphor?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Shall we move to the next slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I hope you have noted down the definition. Metaphor is a figure of speech in which things are compared by stating that one thing is another. Okay, here I have a lot of examples, like Franklin has a heart of gold. Mary's voice is music to my ears. You are my sunshine. He is a walking encyclopedia. The world's a stage. Okay, look at that. Shakespeare's title of the poem, The World's Stage. All the world's a stage. The world and the stage. It's a comparison made between the two. So the poet is trying to say that the world is a stage. Okay. Now, these are all many examples. I hope the concept is clear to you. Yes or no?
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
you want me to explain more about metaphor? Please tell me, children. Is that the idea clear to you? What is a metaphor?
Yes, ma'am.
Advait Murali, just read. What is a metaphor? What have you understood by metaphor? Advait Murali. Ah.
Metaphor states that one thing is something else.
Metaphor states that one thing is.
Else.
It's difficult for me to hear. Somebody else can. Jairus, what have you written down? What is a metaphor?
Metaphor is a word or a sentence that refers to something else.
Okay, Vaishnavi, what have you understood by metaphor?
Ma'am, a metaphor states that one thing is something else.
Yes, a metaphor states that one thing is another. It is comparison, but we do not use like or as. Is it clear? So in the poem, which phrase do you choose as an example for metaphor? Which phrase?
Two roads.
Two roads. Okay. Shall I continue a little more? Maybe for 5 minutes more? Is that okay for you?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
Ma'am.
Okay, next we will deal with the simile. What is a simile? Remember the spelling S-I-M-I-L-E. Do not write a smile. Okay. Simile, the spelling is S-I-M-I-L-E. What is a simile? Simile is a phrase that uses a comparison to describe. Okay. And we use like or as. So simile is also a type of comparison, but we use like or as. Example. This is a line taken from William Wordsworth's poem, Daffodils. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills. So how did the speaker in the poem wander? He wandered lonely as a cloud. So the movement of the speaker is compared to that of a floating cloud. Then here we can see many more examples. Busy as a bee. We have used as. Busy as a bee. As is used. Sparkle like diamonds. Hungry as a bear. Flat as a pancake. Hard as a rock. So simile is the kind of comparison. Comparing one thing with the other. And we use like or as. So can anyone give me some examples for simile? Very simple examples.
I like chocolate.
I like chocolate. That's a statement. You have to compare two things.
Sweet as honey.
Yes, sweet as honey. Her voice is as sweet as the honey. Okay. The voice of the girl is compared to that of the honey's sweetness. Very good, Amin. Next.
Miss,
Yes, Jairus.
as cold as ice.
Yes. The climate is as cold as ice. I'm feeling so cold, just like the coldness of an ice. Okay, okay, good, very good. Then, who is going to give me next example? You will get many, many examples. The only thing is that you have to think. Sridev, yes?
I am hungry as a wolf.
I am hungry as
A wolf.
a wolf. I am as hungry as a wolf. All right, very good. So I hope you are clear with the concept of simile. So this is another simile, this is another poetic device that you have to remember. Now children, I have many more examples. I'm not going to go through all these things. I'll just randomly read it, okay? Today I'm feeling as fresh as a daisy. My best friend is as stubborn as a mule. My little sister works as slow as a turtle. Right now, I'm feeling as sick as a dog. Okay, so many examples. So you have to use like or as when you compare one thing with the other. That boy in my class is as funny as a clown. Okay, as or like. Any one of these things should be used. Now, children, your task is look at your poem and find out a simile from it. I explained to you what is a simile, what is the peculiarity of a simile. Just find out any phrase that shows as an example for simile. Abhiram, once we complete the session, we will have the seminar. Okay, don't worry. Maybe the next day. I told you. Yes, yes, Nandana.
Ma'am, in second stanza, first line, then took the other just as fair.
Yes, very good. Correct. The answer is very, very correct. The second stanza, first line, then took the other as just as fair. Okay, then took the other as just as fair. That is example for simile, as just as fair. Okay, is it clear? So we completed metaphor and simile. I think that is enough for today. Tomorrow we have one more session. So we will be covering the remaining poetic devices. Okay, so for exam purpose, you have to mainly concentrate on rhyme scheme of the poem, then metaphor, simile, then we have two more to learn. Okay, and please be prepared with your seminar. Okay, whoever has got the seminar topics, please be prepared with, because as soon as we complete this session, we will have the presentation. I hope I can do that tomorrow itself, because in a week we get only 2 periods. Okay, all right. And you also be prepared with your chapters, both the chapters, the fun they had and road note taken. I'll give you a date for your chapter test. Okay, we have to have a chapter test before our periodic test. All right. So please go through what we have discussed today, and the remaining we'll do tomorrow. All right. Thank you, children. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.